The COVID-19 pandemic has put an unprecedented challenge before us all, and the LGBTI community has faced particular hardships in accessing healthcare, employment, and other benefits. Queer Talks Season 2 will bring us exciting conversations and lived experience from members of the LGBTI community in Bhutan. I hope this show will help spur us on to action, to help us look for ways to advance human rights in our homes, workplaces, schools, digital spaces, and communities. Together, let us stand up for human rights and build a more equal, safer, and fairer world for generations to come.
The reason why I have put up this issue in the parliament was mainly because based on my work experience, I have been working with the Department of Public Health before for almost 15 years, and I have been directly working with the community members while I was looking after Communicable Disease Division, and there are a lot of issues with access to health care services. So basically, I think these kind of community members, though they are not being criminalized or not being downlooked, but I think there is kind of internalized homophobia that the community people develops mainly on account of their gender orientation. So based on that, I thought that I think since this is a redundant provisions in the Penal Code of Bhutan, so why can't we actually repeal that? So this is the main reason why I put up in the parliament.
Thanks to people like yourself, like Your Excellency, now you've really, what should I say, fast-forwarded Bhutan into the future with the stance that you took in parliament, and you're saying it was a general clause for its removal, and I think the community really feels like they're in a better place now, thanks to Your Excellency. And I want to thank you so much for your time.
In my life, I was told how to act. Even if that means as a child, I was told to act like a boy, and growing up, I was told to act like a girl. I was put into this gender roles by my family or my culture environment. So I never thought that in terms of my sexual orientation also I had the agency to decide, right? So it wasn't until a few years ago that when I reflected, I realized that I was always attracted to like more than one gender, meaning I was also attracted to my own gender, women, but I never could address it before. So I think I came into this conversation with my own self where I confronted all these feelings that I had as a child or a teenager, only in my late teenage life. And I think that's when I was able to say that yes, confidently say that yes, I am attracted to my gender as well, and that I'm a bisexual woman. So I think that was how my journey went about.
It's so interesting that even within the community, people want to box you in, right? Like, because you identify as bisexual, the assumption is that you should have dated or should be dating both men and women, right? How do you react to this?
So like you said, because I've been sensitized and I've learned, I've studied about it. I think now I have a thick skin and I understand where this perception is coming from. But what I understand about sexual orientation is that there are almost like three constructs, like that is the identity, attraction, behavior, and they don't always have to be in alignment. And even in terms of attraction, it doesn't always have to be sexual. It can also be romantic or emotional. So I know what I feel, and just because I'm not acting upon it does not mean that I am any less of a bisexual woman than what people perceive a bisexual woman to be. But again, at the same time, I feel like there's this amazing quote about how if you're visibly queer, you face more discrimination. And in my case, because I'm not visibly queer, because I am dating a cisgender heterosexual men, right? And in terms of my gender, also I identify as a cisgender woman. I understand that I have not faced the wrath of it or like the discrimination in such an extreme level. So with that comes the privilege that I have to accept.
You wanted someone to tell you when you were younger about self-acceptance, right? Do you think that would have helped lessen the trauma?
Definitely, because when I was young, no one talked about LGBT to me. No one told me that being gay is a concept. Actually, it was a concept, you know. It was a concept way years ago. It was a concept, and then no one told me about self-healing, self-love, like self-acceptance. And when we all of the humans, we come in different forms, different personalities. No one told me about that. No one told me about accepting about that. So when I look about when I'm 18. And when I look at the past, if someone had told me that you can accept yourself, even if you are fat, ugly, and miserable, you can accept yourself, you know? You don't have to look at yourself in a miserable way. And I look at the person, all of those years in the past, the one who hated himself, the one who tried to cut himself, the one who tried to poison himself, and the one who looked in the mirror and hated it so much that he tried to break it. If someone had told him, that person, that you can love yourself, that the person in the mirror, your own reflection, is someone that deserves love, then I would have been a much different person right now. I might have been a bit open right now. Every time I thought about coming out, the world gave me just a reason not to. I didn't want my identity to go just as a passing to another person ever again. All I wanted to hear all my life were the words, "It's okay, I don't care," or even a small hug. Those were the only words I wanted to hear and the only thing I wanted to feel. Because when you're a closed up homosexual living a life in fear, those words truly are the truth. Which is, my sister was crying, the other sister was also crying,
Right.
my aunt was also crying, and I was like, oh my god, someone say something. It's so awkward. I was also like, the tears were coming down.
Right.
It was so awkward, but then suddenly my sister ran to me and she said that I love you no matter what. And in a way, my sister in the past, when she didn't know, she kind of insulted me by saying that I was gay and chakai, I got all those words. So she kind of realized what she was doing, and then
Right.
she felt so sorry for me.
Right.
Then my other sister came, and then mother,
Yeah.
Then I looked at my mother. Oh my god! And I was like, "Mommy, do you have anything to say?" And she was crying for in my 18 years, I never saw her cry. So,
Right.
so something that I did which made her cry was like, I felt a little bit guilty at the same time, a little bit freeing. And she said that I will love you no matter who you are, what you do. And I was like, okay, that's one weight lifted off me. And then
I first knew that I was a part of LGBT. I didn't really think that there would be much people in Bhutan that would be part. So I think thinking that I was alone, it made me a bit uncomfortable and a bit scared to come out as well. So accepting was a bit difficult, even though I knew that I was part of LGBT. So accepting myself, even though I knew, was a bit difficult.
What is about makeup that you like so much?
It's more about showing my creativity, it's also like meditation for me. It really calms me down if I'm like really frustrated, if I'm like angry and all. So when I put makeup, it really calms me down, because my focus is really in that while doing it, and it's just like a therapy to me.
Right, it's like complete concentration,
Yes.
and you're in that Zen zone in a
Yes,
way, right?
Like complete 1.5 to 2 hours of
Oh, wow.
time is like
It just goes by.
yeah.
Oh, that's